Tip number 9 with Justin from Elevation Homes. And this week we're talking about homeowner habits. Justin, how the heck are you?
Not too bad, sir. How are you doing this morning?
You know what? I can't complain. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and you get to get outside and play, and I get to play. So it's that much more fun. Homeowner habits. When you explained this to me, I loved it because it's things we don't realize we're doing inside our homes that we do every day repetitively, and it wears and tears on our home. Can you give us some examples of that and how we can sort of avoid those problems?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, a lot of people I don't take this into consideration when they're, whether they're building a house or renovating a house or whatnot. There are, I always sit down, usually on my initial, consultation meeting, sometimes on the second visit, but we actually write down like literally, the stuff that pissed you off in your old house or the wants and the needs of just those little annoying things that have gotten to you over the years. And that, we're going to try to remedy those with the reno, with the design, and with the products that we're going to install. So, I mean, and that, always the big touching points for me is kitchens and baths, entryways, there's even some things about, there's a few things about basements. The bedrooms, generally speaking, is a lower complaint factor because, I mean, they generally are just 4 drywall walls. I mean, closets, walk-ins for some people are a huge issue, being the right size. I mean, we've actually, I can't tell you the amount of times we've omitted bathrooms to get people bigger walk-ins because they would prefer that, which sounds crazy, but you really got to make that list and find out where are these wear points and that are hindering the functionality of your family, your house. And I mean, entry doors are a crazy huge one, and I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, you can spend a lot of money on an entry door. I mean, you can spend $130 or you can spend, $7,500. But if it's one way into the house, I mean, that better be a pretty damn good door, or you will probably change that out every, 3 to 5 years. Right.
Yeah. Cause the amount of use, it's overuse. It's just that repetitive habit, like you said. And a lot of things like kitchen cupboards, there's always that one you use, right? You don't even think about it. Or I guess, maybe, how many times you flush the toilet, right? You got to, there's probably one washroom that specifically gets used more than the others if you have a couple in your home. And it's all those little things.
Absolutely. It's a good thing. The thing about the toilet, actually, it's a good point, Dave, because I mean, I'm really one to point out the toilet thing immediately. Not because I don't like putting them in. I mean, I don't like putting them in, but a lot of people jump on these things, on all these gimmick things with toilets, believe it or not, because they're either they sound cool or they look cool or, they're super stylish or whatever.
Right.
And I got to tell you, almost every time that we put in a toilet that is a designer skirted toilet with a top flush, in less than 8 months, we take it out. We put a normal, regular 1942 porcelain bowl toilet with a little flush handle on the side. It's one of those things that it's like, people have tried to reinvent the wheel on the toilet many, many, many times. I don't know if it's worth it. That the mechanisms typically break pretty quickly. That little flush handle, it's a mechanical system that's attached to a chain. I mean, it really, there's not a lot of failure points there, right?
And it's pretty easy to fix.
But it's just that's one of those, if it ain't broken, I mean, we're not fixing it. I mean, there's some technology that is, I mean, absolutely, we're definitely pushing that stuff. But I mean, toilets are not one of them for me.
I love it. When you talked about doorway entrances, do you recommend to folks to, get a better quality because this is probably your main entrance? And do you have a hard time talking people into that? I mean, I would probably go, just put the regular door in, don't worry about it. But you need to do that, don't you? You set yourself up for success, not failure.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you've got, I mean, a lot of, most people have 2 entry points.
Right.
generally. But I mean, you know in your heart when you're looking at this house, or even if we're just replacing a door, you know what one's getting used, right? Yeah. And if it generally it's a rear entrance, into a mudroom or whatnot, honest to God, spending like even $500 or $600 more on if you go up to $1,000 door, single 32-inch entry door versus a $500 entry door, it's a pretty immense difference. The hardware gets better, the actual door quality gets better. If it's a stiffer, straighter door, over time it won't warp and kick out and leak and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And same with the hardware set. I mean, there's lots of great economy hardware sets out there, and I'm actually impressed with some of the quality of the stuff that's sitting on the big box store shelf right now. But I mean, you can buy a front entry knob for $89.
Okay.
But a nice big, Hardy Schlage, $170 one. It's just, even when you turn that knob, it just feels like a nicer contact. Right. And it will. I mean, it'll stand. Those things are the Lamborghini of doorknobs. I mean, they will go 100,000 openings and not even blink. Right.
Huh. It's kind of what you and I were talking about off air, because I said, it seems to me like I remember at my grandfather's house, and we were talking about old wooden doors and how solid they, like how, yep. That doesn't exist anymore, it seems. But at the same time, you're not financially capable of buying a door like that because it costs so much nowadays. But the efficiency of them in that era was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's the pre-1940s. It's actually, for most modern people, it's almost, they can't imagine the time, effort, and work that just went into a single door.
Right.
For something we would buy now, $169, and it would be installed within hours of you bringing it home. A lot of these doors, and in some cases, they were all hand done. Some of them were hand done on site. They would build the doors for the jams, yep. Right? And literally putting the rails and stiles together and the panels, sanding them, staining them, the whole kit and caboodle, and then mortising the hinges exactly for the jam that they had built. And the jam probably took them better part of a week to get installed. And then they make these doors to fit. But yeah, we live in a world of speed and it's just not the norm anymore. Those doors are available. We deal with lots of high-end guys they'll put together a door of that level. But for a lot of people, they have, again, it's one of those things. Aesthetically, you could get a similar looking door. It's not going to have the boast and the quality that, a solid core hardware door is going to have. But when you're looking at it, it looks exactly the damn same. And it honestly, it is not even an eighth of the price of those hardwood ones. But we've talked about many times before. I don't like to push people over their budget, but I want them to get as much door or as much product out of every line of that estimate. So, if you're like $30 away from getting into, solid core MDF versus a solid core, then I'm going to say, it's going to be just that much nicer. $30 more. Do you want to make the compromise? Same with an entry door, same with a kitchen cabinet, going to a slightly better door style that maybe most of the doors, it makes no difference in your kitchen, but that kitchen sink, boy, when that good quality door is on that kitchen sink or that garbage drawer, people will thank me in a year. Right.
Do you, when folks do that, when they do build their new homes, and do you sort of say to them, hey, you don't want to, you want to be nice to them, but do you say, hey, grab a few extra hinges. We're going to throw a few extra hinges in just in case down the road. Because like you said, if you're not getting exactly the quality you need, then you better have a few on hand. And I'm a big proponent of that. I always, little extra things laying around that you keep in your shop just in case you run out or you need to change something, it's there. And you have one or two of them. I think that's great advice. That's sound. You got to do that, right?
Yeah, we always, I mean, there is, because of for this exact topic, I mean, I have a toolbox that sits in the van all the time.
Yeah.
And it's literally, it looks like most people's junk drawers, but it is
literally,
it is like 5 or 6 of the kitchen cabinet hinges that we always install, like that are typically installed, right? For most medium quality things. We have 5 or 6 of all the plumbing parts that fail on the drains. Like when you buy these, I mean, not so much, there's some great brands, but then there's some not so great brands. Maybe the tap unit or the faucet unit is amazing, but the drain unit that comes with them really sucks. So I always keep those seals all the time, because some of this Amazon, and believe me, honestly, I have Amazon faucets in my master. I mean, don't get me wrong, but and the faucets are amazing, but the seals on the drain assemblies are just, I mean, they're just horrible. So I mean, it's so I keep those seals because I have a lot of customers that order off Amazon, and we put in the drain assemblies, and they fail in 2 months, and we've got to do them again.
I love it. I know you're busy. I got to let you go, Justin. That's why I like about Elevation Homes. You guys carry that. You're thinking ahead. You're planning for that rainy day to help folks out, and that's great. That's great news. I know we could use some rain right about now, but take care. I do want to bug you next week, because you did say something. I want to leave this one for next week for the folks. Justin was a homeowner show nerd when he was a kid, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to help him. We're going to help him feel better about his past. All right. Take care, man. Don't work too hard. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you.